welcome to Dubai Watch Week.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today with us. Thank you.
Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubai Watch Week 2025. From my perspective, Dubai Watch Week is the greatest cultural builder for watchmaking in the entire world. It is also a pioneering event. And on that subject, I would like to introduce my two guests, Mr. Hamied Seddiqi, Chairman of Seddiqi Holdings. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
And the one and only Mr. Jean-Frédéric Dufour, CEO of Rolex. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure to have you both here. So, every superhero has an origin story. How did you start in watchmaking, Jean-Fred?
First, quite a long time ago, back in 1993. But after university, I started for a quick tour in the banking. But I think I was not that good, so the bank a little bit rejected me. And I had some issues to find a job. And back in this time, we were not like young people like they are today, you know, where they try to find the perfect job. So I was just looking for a job. And by chance, I met Karin Schäufele. I'm not sure if there's some Schäufeles in the room, but I own them a lot because it's Mrs. Karin Schäufele herself. It was a Saturday night at a birthday party. And she said, "Are you looking for a job, young man? Okay, come and see me on Monday. I think I'll have something for you." And that's my start, you know.
How extraordinary. And Mr. Hamied, how did you get started in this industry?
I started when my age was about 16. And you can see my photo. Maybe last time you saw it in the gala dinner. I started with my father. I was going every day after the school to the shop. I was cleaning the showcases. I can doing also the merchandising. Only my father, my brother Ibrahim, and one staff. And I was the third, the fourth, you know, to clean and to be with my father. So how I started, this is the beginning of my start at 16. After that, when I finished my school in Dubai, we had no university, no college, nothing. My father sent me to Geneva. And at that time, Mr. Peter, who was in charge of Rolex for the Middle East, he arranged everything for me. And it was in 1973. And my first day in Geneva, it was really very, very cold. And I had no winter clothes, you know. So Mr. Peter, he took me to the shop and he bought for me an overcoat, you know. It was really very... and I stayed in the Hotel Angleterre, Geneva. And at that time, you know, Noga Hilton, they was starting to do the Noga Hilton. Next day, he took me to Lausanne and stay with the family. And no more of French. I was only English. So it was a hard time for me. After I finished my school, I was working with Bukharir, you know, as a trainer, okay, for a couple of months. And I started, as I was beginner, I was in the cuckoo clock section, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I was cleaning, you know, they give me the one tray and brush, you know, and to clean the tray and receiving the people in the beginning just to show the people the way to the cuckoo clock, huh? And Mr. Kessler, he was at that time the general manager of Bukharir. He was very happy. And I was the only one speaking Arabic, you know. After that, they upgrade me, coming down to look after the Arab people, Arab customers. So I met a lot of VIP, princes, kings who was coming to Bukharir at that time, you know. So this is, I stayed a few months, and after that, I been to Patek Philippe, I work. So I met the grandfather of Thierry and his father. And now we are working with Thierry and also with the new generation, Adrian.
Incredible. What a great story.
Yeah, after that I came back to Dubai. And there was no place for me to work at Seddiqi. Yeah. So I was working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abu Dhabi. Okay? After 6 months, my father he told me, now I have a place for you. So you start working with Seddiqi, with my brother Majid and Ibrahim and Majid. So this is my history.
What an extraordinary story. And how did you become friends, Jean-Fred? When did you first meet Mr. Hamied?
I was super impressed because it was at Chopar actually. And they, you know, I was a little guy, and the family, the Jean-Frédéric family told me, you know, we're going to receive somebody super important, you know, so you have to be really careful about what you say and how you behave and things like this. And I first met at Chopar Hamied back in the, let's say, early 90s, late 90s. And he was, I mean, Hamied loves watches. I think I love watches, and I'm not sure we had an immediate connection, but I mean, he was always kind to me. You know, he's a kind person, you know.
Yeah, so this is the first time I met him in Chopard. After that, he moved to another company with Leonetto, with Olius Nardan, with Zenit.
Okay.
But you see, we had always connection together.
Amazing. Jean-Fred, I know you care immensely about the entirety of the watch industry. And you talked to me a little bit about collaboration and healthy competition and why they're both important. Why, sir?
Of course, you know, I mean, it's an industry where I think customers expect creativity. So we can see the market as a little bit the battlefield, but we also have to find a way to collaborate. And definitely there's, I think, two important things where we can definitely collaborate and make an added value. One is for the future, is the education. You know, we have, for example, at Rolex, we have more than 500 apprentices in 26 different expertise. So we know that not all these young kids will stay forever with us. Some will work for other brands. We don't really care about that. It's okay, it's fine. It's an investment we do for the future. But I think everybody has its own responsibility to be able to, whatever they do in their field, to, you know, transmit this knowledge to the next generation. It's very important. And then there is another way, or another activity or industry, call it the way you want, where we can collaborate. It's when we do a show like this, or when we do, you know, Watches and Wonders in Geneva. It's very important at one point or some points of the year, we all gather together to talk loudly to the world that, you know, the watch industry exists, that we're here, that we are a creative industry, that we offer wonderful product which will last forever, which will bring you a lot of emotions. Everything is about, you know, being positive, positiveness. It's all about that. And we leave the competition on the market, and we leave the competition about creativity, because we all have, you know, our own field that we have to, you know, where we have to work and where we have to find the right product. So it's okay. But I think it's very important that we sometimes also are mature enough to be able to collaborate the right way.
Thank you very much. 10 years ago, you created this extraordinary initiative to bring everyone together in a non-commercial way. Why is collaboration important to you, Mr. Seddiqi?
You see, Dubai Watch Week, it is the platform for the collaboration with all the industry, watch industry. And I think it is the first time last night you see all the watch industry under one roof. So I think we succeed to bring all these people together.
Thank you, sir. Jean-Frédéric, I want to follow up on that a little bit, because I do feel as if Rolex and certainly brands like Patek uplift the entire industry. But why do you feel it's important for new voices? We see so many of them here at Dubai Watch Week. New voices, new creators to bring some energy to watchmaking.
We need the young people, you know. I mean, it's they're pushing us, you know. In a way, they're challenging let's say, the institutional brand, you know. So it's good to see that you have newcomers in an industry. An industry without newcomers, in a way, is a little bit of a dying industry, you know. And it's very important that we also keep the industry attractive for young talents, because it's the industry. When I say young talents, I'm not just talking about, you know, people who have like ideas for design or concept, or who are like very expert in the art of watchmaking or whatever. But it could also be, you know, like young technicians or young engineers coming out from our technical schools, for example, in Switzerland, you know. And we have, for example, we have 85 doctors You know, I mean, really the highest level of education that you find in Switzerland, you know, inside our R&D department, you know. So we employ more than 2,000 engineers. You need to do something which is attracting these people. They don't want to work for a boring industry. They want to work for an industry which makes them dream about their future, about opportunities and things like this. It's super important, you know. So these young people that I love to see here, they help us to, you know, build that image in a way, you know.
For us, our mission to teach the young generation. Today, we open a Seddiqi Academy, okay, in our after-sales service. So this is our mission, to have a local watchmaker or local technician. So you can see our stand and you can check with our people. So we have the first local watchmaker in the company.
Incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, you know, I had an issue, sorry, just to come back on that, but I mean, with Apple Store, because, I mean, the people who are talking to you, they call themselves genius, you know? And sometimes they're not always able to find a solution for you. But, you know, we have watchmakers, we have 1,900 watchmakers in the world for the after-sale service, you know? These people, they have been trained for years to be able to do what they do at the level they do it. And sometimes their profession, what they were doing, was a little bit underestimated, you know? So it's also important for us that we make it like a profession which is has a kind of a, sorry for calling it that way, sexiness, you know? Making them proud, you know? When they come back at home, you know, they say, I'm a watchmaker at the after-sale service at so-and-so brand, you know? And that the whole environment sees them, you know, being like the kind of a winner of the family, you know. It's super important, you know. We need people to be able to fix the watches that we produce for the future, you know, to stay connected with our customers. Otherwise, there would be an issue at one point.
I totally agree with that. And actually, I would say even more, Rolex has transformed what is normally a very negative experience into a positive experience. After sales at Rolex is effortless. And that is a way to create customer loyalty that's very profound, you know? I mean, no, but true. I mean, honestly, it's very difficult sometimes to feel this way. And you give people this sense of confidence.
Thank you.
Okay, so you mentioned Apple. Let's go back to 2014, right? 1 year before Dubai Watch Week was created, and the Apple Watch was launched. And I think this was around the same time.
Yeah, it's when I joined Rolex.
When you joined Rolex, exactly. And the prevailing narrative throughout all of watchmaking was like, that's it, it's over. What's going to happen? But the opposite happened. Yeah. The new generation fell more in love with watchmaking. Why?
So, no, maybe when you say it's over, you're a little bit too extreme. Some people, like the former chairman that we had, Bertrand, he still believes in Rolex. You know, he said, don't worry, nothing will happen. I said, are you sure, Bertrand? I said, yeah, don't worry. We never had any issue with anything, so Apple Watch won't. And he was right, actually. Why? I think that, you know, first, they don't produce a watch. It's I call it a phone that you put on your wrist. It's a little bit long. It's not very marketing. It's not that good in terms of communication, so they call it a smartwatch. Okay, fine. But the time is maybe not even 1% of the functions they offer on this instrument. So it's a completely different ecosystem. And actually, it's two ecosystems we can live side by side. It's okay. And I would say that even it helped us to bring young people, you know, to get used to wear something on their wrist. And when they want to come from a digital world, to a material world, you know, to a mechanical world, they already use about wearing watches, and they know that it exists, and they're curious about, you know, seeing it different, you know. They don't have that much choice today, young people, you know. When I was young, I had a lot of choice, you know. Today, everything is digital, you know, so, yeah.
I mean, totally agree. Yeah. But, you know, you may recall, Mr. Seddiqi, that they were even making gold Apple Watches, and Hermes was making straps for Apple Watches. Do you remember that? They were really trying to push into the luxury stratosphere.
They was trying, you know, they came to us, you know. Yeah, with the gold watches. Because, you know, to sell the gold watches in the Apple stores is not easy, you know. So they was trying to be as a dealer of Apple Gold in our point of sale. But I was always confident that it will not work.
Yeah, they tried to do, you know, remember Apple Watch in gold, you remember? And they were advertising in Vogues, and they put a lot of money in there, you know? But we're lucky, you know, American, they're not so patient. So, I mean, you know, after 6 months, they, you know, they say, maybe, you know, we have to try something else.
But with Hermes leather, it's okay, huh? No, because a lot of people there,
It's a competition for the entry level.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely a competition there because, I mean, for 500 Swiss francs or 1,000 Swiss francs or around that price, you can get a whole environment, a whole ecosystem. So I think it damaged maybe the lower hand, the Swiss lower hand watches. But for high end, for what we do here, I don't see it as a danger.
You know, my dear friend Nick Falks and I talk about this all the time, and it's interesting because actually in an era where everyone's growing up with digitization, AI, all of these things, the mechanical watch militates against it and gives them something wonderful, tangible, enduring, permanent, and durable. Do you think that's why it's been so successful, even with the younger generation?
Yeah, maybe yes. I don't. It's hard to explain. You know, we don't have this very accurate study that you can find in the, let's say, like the food industry. You know, you can ask people, why do you like yogurt with sugar and strawberry taste? And they tell you you know, what makes a difference among the different examples that they taste. Watches, you can't go in the street and say to somebody, I mean, if you were expecting a watch, will it be a watch with a white dial, a black dial, a blue dial? People don't know, you know. I mean, we are like driving on a highway at 200 kilometers an hour in the fog. This is what makes our industry super complicated, actually. So the young people, I think they like it, actually, because they never know exactly what to expect. So they like to be surprised. And it's a little bit like, you know, finding a way of catching their emotions, whatever it could be. And then they see it like it's something which is a positive experience, and they're just like, you know, they go for it. They're super excited.
Are there any industries that the watch industry can be inspired by?
Yeah. I think the closest one maybe is the high-end, the automotive high-end industry, you know, because they produce a complicated, even more complicated product, you know, but they also have like a brand having a strong heritage, you know, so it's people are ready to pay a premium, you know, to have a product that others don't. They have an issue with that they don't produce a product which are lasting forever, you know. It's something which makes a difference, maybe, you know. But otherwise, in terms of emotions, in terms of product, in terms of research and development, and in terms of investment, you know, everything is quite okay at a different scale, but it's quite similar. It's not. I wouldn't compare us to the fashion industry or to any other of this luxury industry. I think we're quite different, and this is why sometimes you have people coming from that industry. They don't necessarily. I mean, of course, there's always super clever, but they always take them a little time to adapt, because you cannot just jump into the watch industry and understand all the elements of the watch industry.
But there is some company who's doing like a machine, you know, like a car engine on the car. So what you're looking for, huh?
That's a really nice watch.
Yeah, thank you.
Totally agree. Jean-Frédéric, I want to just follow up on what you just said, because it is true that sometimes we kind of parachute people in from other industries, but I think that there's something so unique about the watch industry. To have been brought up in this industry, to have a true love for watchmaking, as we have with the Seddiqi family or the Tay family, for example, you know, that's something very unique. Do you think it's important that managers come from within the industry?
I think what is important, wherever they come from, is that they are able to talk with their emotions. You know, recently I had a chance to have something to do with some people coming from the trading industry. And during the discussion we had, you know, we did not agree about what to say or what to do. And I told this guy, you know, but in my industry, I mean, following your instinct and having strong emotion is super important. And the guy looked at me and he said, in my industry, it's a killer.
Really?
You know, so, you know, I mean, I think it's, for us, it's wherever you come from. I mean, you have to be able to follow your instinct, having emotion, sensitiveness, you know, these kind of things. And it doesn't matter if you come from the industry, from X, Y, or wherever you come from. It's just who you are, how do you feel things, how you can feel the market. If you like meeting people, you know, I mean, talked about, you know, getting connected. It's super important, you know, these kind of things.
I mean, you talk a little bit, Mr. Seddiqi, about, learning about watches from your father. And also, I would imagine your own children have learned about watches from you. Is it important to have this emotional imprint at a very early age to be effective in this role?
Yes, sure. Yeah. From early age, you need to. So now this is our role now to teach our new generation.
I love it. So there's two retail models. One is direct to consumer, and the other one is the belief in enduring partnerships. You have always taken the stance to believe in enduring partnerships. What is the power of partnerships?
It's the way Rolex built its success in a way. So it's a model that we respect the most among all the models which are existing. We always found the best partner locally, which were able to talk to their local community in the way we wanted, to be sure that they were able to spread the message the right way. And actually, it is one thing which is super important when we talk about it, it's trust. It means that we know we have to come with the best product, maybe with the best communication, because there's a whole environment. We're investing in our brand, we're investing in our product, we're investing in our communication. So we do the best we can, but we have to be sure that on the other side, a family like the Seddiqi family, they also do the best they can. And it's a kind of a magic recipe, actually, and it's the way that the industry worked since a very long time. Now, okay, some do it directly, they do it very well. It depends also the scale of the brand. I mean, how many products you want to sell every year. It depends on these type of things. I think every brand maybe can have its own concept. Some are a little bit of a mix, some are just this or this. We became a little bit of a mix by acquiring Bucherer, even though it's a very small part of our distribution network. We don't have any intention to grow further than that. It was an opportunity that we had to do it, and now we are just and maybe understanding better the retail business, and it's a good thing. And I mean, all my predecessors were always, very good at, traveling, finding the right people, then presenting the watches in these shops the right way, if possible, the best way, and so on and so on. It's a virtual circle.
As you said, a retailer, we are not a retailer, we are a partner, As a partner, we are also have a mission also with them to provide a good service, provide trust. Today, Hamied Seddiqi is 75 years, and we have a reputation, We invest a lot in after-sale service. We invest a lot in the people also, because the people, not just the normal people, we give them a training, We have a training center, not people come immediately and go to the showroom. It takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we give them training, and after that, we take them to the point of sale.
So you would say that as a partner, you have an immense responsibility, and the responsibility is for you to make the best effort possible.
Yes, right? That's right. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a shared responsibility, actually.
Would you say that there has become a global alignment of watch tastes, or are some models more successful in specific markets? Mr. Seddiqi, why don't you tell us?
I think for the big brands, they have iconic models, and all the market is the same. But there is some, sometimes we do with different color of the dials or different material. Maybe some material in our market is working, maybe it's not working in China or in Europe. So it's different dials. Maybe sometimes we have Arabic dial, which is for our market, not for European market or Asian market.
I completely agree, but I think I'm quite lucky. I work for the brand which has the most homogeneous success around the world, So it has been built that way, It took decades to build it. And maybe it's also sometimes things that people forget a little bit. It takes time to build a brand. It's not just something which can be done in a couple of years, So maybe, it's an industry where people are not patient enough,
We exist in a period of acceleration in AI that is staggering. right? How does watchmaking maintain its integrity and even use AI to its benefit, but without losing its humanity, Mr. Dufour?
But we use AI for in many aspects. You know, we have a very modern machine tools park. You know, the average age is 8 years. So we're investing every year approximately, I can share with you, it's about 100 million Swiss francs to always regenerate these machine tools. But it's not just because we find it fun. It's because we want to have always the latest generation to be able to produce the best components we can in terms of precision and quality. And of course, now AI is everywhere. You know, I mean, it helps you to program the machine. It helps you to maintain the machines. It enhances the human capacity in a way, you know. So we're not necessarily using it when it comes to human interaction. So if you call the after-sales service at Rolex, it won't be AI answering you. We still need this human connection. I think it's very important that we keep it in our industry. The final consumer, they want to be connected to something which is real. Otherwise, you call your banker, you call your insurance, you call, you know, whoever you want to call. But when you call Rolex or when you call any of us, it has to be, I think, you know, a real connection. You know, something which is, you know, not just AI. So AI, we use it, but we try to use it for the best, you know.
I had never thought about the fact that it's the quality of the tools that make a great watch as well.
Of course.
And I find that remarkable.
It's the beginning.
Yes. But yes, you know, and I've always, every time you put a Rolex on, there's a very special feeling about it. But I never realized it's also about the replacing of the tools rather than using a tool that's too old, you know.
And at the end, it's the craftsmanship, because then once you have produced the parts, you need the human to assemble the components, the watch itself, the movement, and then the movement in the case, the die, the hands, everything is done by hand.
And I've had the great pleasure of visiting the Rolex manufacturer 3 times. Thank you.
But then AI can also help you, for example, for the final quality test, you know, because you can replace the human eyes by AI. And instead of controlling maybe just the samples of what you do, you can control 100% of what you do, and in a much more accurate way. So there's, you know, this type of...
But you still insist a lot on human beings there.
Super important.
The assembly is done by human beings.
Yes,
Even
sir.
in the hairsprings, you have people coiling the hairsprings, separating them, matching them to balance wheels. There's so much humanity there, and that's important, right?
Super important. They're watchmakers, you know, we can't do everything by robots.
Yeah, for us, we need also to use it in the logistic and after-sale service, in the training, and also in the HR, you know. So it is the future. So we're going soon.
You know, Max's son, I think Nick's son's Max is in his 20s, if I'm not mistaken, and we talk a lot about the next generation. We talk about how it's a generation that is not materialistic, that is interested in experiences, that cares immensely about sustainability. But in this realm, why would watches appeal to a young person like that?
You mean a young generation, you mean? Yes. But as I said before, I think we live in a world where everything is digital, you know. So for them, having a chance to, you know, connect with something which is mechanical, with a strong history, which is a long-lasting value, that they can talk to their friends, exchange, compare. It's a world by itself. So it means a lot, not maybe to all young people in the world, but I mean, for the one who can afford it, it's a nice way. You know, I mean, look at driving nowadays. You can't drive anymore. There is no more cars. I mean, if you look at what we compare ourselves to the automotive industry, but if you look at what the car manufacturers did, there is no more car show in the world. So they lost the connection with the final consumers. And by doing so, people don't really care nowadays. When they buy a car, it's for them, it's like a tool to move from A to B. And they even don't buy it anymore because there is Uber, there is, you know, whatever exists, you know, to move you from A to B. So I think the issue they have now is that they have an issue to engage with the final consumers. And in the watch industry, these young kids, you know, they can, when they have their first salary or whatever, you know, it's also a way of comparing their taste, their income, their education, whatever. It's like back in my time, we were all, you know, aiming at driving a car. You know, I mean, I will have cut my arm at 17 years old to be sure that at 18 years old I will be able to drive a car, whatever the car. It was meaning freedom, but I don't think it's freedom anymore nowadays. And I think that with watches, with the whole world that we build around the watch industry, it means a lot of freedom for these kids, you know. And it's one of the maybe last remaining industry like that.
And we're the last one that is a luxury industry about mechanical systems.
Definitely, yeah.
Everything else is, today cars are just iPads on wheels, you know? And our industry makes a mechanical system that reminds us of ourselves because it's got a beating heart. And I think that that's a wonderful thing. I had a Rolex that was my grandfather's, who gave it to my uncle when he was 16, who then gave it to me when I was 16. We talk about sustainability. I can't think of a better example of sustainability than that. And I think that kind of brings us also to Rolex CPO.
Yeah, but Rolex CPO was the last stone of what we wanted to offer to the customer, because I mean, you say, okay, you trust us, you bought your first Rolex, then you wear it for a while, then maybe you want to change, and then what do you have to do? Okay, maybe you keep it, as you said, or you offer it to the next generation, but maybe you want to trade it, you know? And actually the idea came from United States, because when we, okay, maybe I'm going too much into details, but we noticed that in some point of sales, the number one brand was Rolex, and the number two brand was Rolex second-hands. So we say, okay, maybe there's something which is wrong there, because I mean, by having such a level of business without, you know, being sure that there won't be any issue, because we cannot offer any guarantee on the product, it's maybe a little bit dangerous. Then came the idea of having the RCPO in a way. So it means it's the, you know, let's say you are there and you can say, you know, while you're buying a watch, don't worry, we will always take care of you in a way. So it's a very long-term commitment. You know, and it's also something which it brings trust, as we say. We use a lot this word trust, but I think it's very important for our industry. People, they need to trust what they buy, what they are doing. It's nothing worse than feeling betrayed when you bought something expensive. You know, I mean, the feeling can be destroying.
I totally agree with that. And when it comes to, for example, vintage Rolexes, a person who is purchasing a vintage Rolex for the first time, if he feels a sense of betrayal, he may never buy another one again.
Definitely.
And that's a terrible thing to have someone excluded from our hobby.
And unfortunately, because it's an industry where you have some money, I mean, when you have some money, you always have, you know, the right guys and the bad guys, you know, so, you know.
Well, on the subject of right guys and good guys, Mr. Hamied, I believe you've got the greatest Rolex CPO shop on the planet, correct, sir?
Yes, we have really invested a lot for the CPO. We collected a lot of pieces of vintage Rolex, which is not existing made on the normal collection. So today we have about 500 pieces of CPO. Okay, some of them now here in Watch and Wonder, and the people, they can see our collection. And people, they are really buying these pieces, especially the expensive one, because which is not existing in them. And the second thing, that there are people that trust us, and also they have a guarantee from Rolex that this CPO, everything is genuine. No modification on the pieces, on the bracelet, on the dial, everything is genuine. So the trust, everybody's trusting. We have people from outside, outside of country, mean from also South America, and yes, they came to Dubai from Mexico to buy our CPO.
Fantastic. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, so I'll just say, as someone who loves watches, I really feel that every major brand should engage in this as well, because to create this trust for vintage and pre-owned is super, super important. Okay, we exist in a moment where it seems the majority of maisons or brands are very backwards looking, repeating a lot of things from their past. Very few brands, maybe these guys over here, and Rolex, are really writing the future of watchmaking. Why is it important to continue advancing the story of watchmaking?
Yeah, this is the hard part actually, because it's an industry which carries so much tradition that sometimes you have some issue to, you know, find a way out of your own tradition. And it comes back to the education and to the people that you have to employ to be sure that you can, you know, sometimes bring something new, not just about the tradition. And I'm not sure I can do promotion here. I mean, you know, the Land Dweller, you know, I mean, it's we reinvented an escapement, or we invented a new escapement, which has not been done for, you know it better than me, but I mean, for a very long time in Switzerland.
Since 1999.
Yeah. And in a way, in a watch which has some connection with the past. So it's a kind of a mix, you know, where you find some DNA of the brand. And it's, I tell you, it's very hard to invent a Rolex, actually, when you see all the Rolex, because you don't want to do a square Rolex or an oval Rolex or whatever. It has to stay a Rolex. So you need to find something which, you know, means something for you, but also for the final customer. And yeah, it's a little bit of a, I would say, you know, when you say that this guy's walking on a rope, the equilibrist, you know?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, the balance.
The balance, exactly, yeah.
Incredible.
Between the tradition and the future.
Mr. Hamied, I see you wearing a very, very beautiful puzzle today, but yesterday you were wearing a land dweller. And to me, I love this watch because it represents the future of watchmaking. Why is it important to you?
So for us, this is the new one, and there is the new technology, and there is a new patent in this this watch. So here, this is our role, you know, to teach the people. Maybe not a lot of people, they know how. Maybe they are looking the watch from outside, but they don't know the inside. This is our role now to teach the people, especially the young generation.
Totally agree with you.
You see, I forgot how to sell watches because I forgot to sell that this watch has 32 patents in it. You know?
Yes, 32 patents. Yes.
Thank you, Hamid. Yeah.
You know, it's also, I mean, it's quite funny because we even talk about will silicon still be here in the future? You know, one of the arguments about silicon is, but will the technology be here in 50 years or 100 years? It was when the land dweller that was created that Nick, I, Mike, we all like, it will still be here because when Rolex does something, they do it forever. So.
But it will still be here because it also belongs to many industries. It's a new material which is used everywhere. So, I mean, don't worry, it will be here forever. So we're not scared about the silicone not being produced or not having machine to be able to produce silicone parts in the future. There will be even better machines using less energy and doing even more accurate components, you know. So we're completely confident on that.
Since I'm on stage with you, both of you gentlemen, and as a journalist, I would just like to ask the question, in a world that is so dominated by social media and interconnectivity, is there still actually a role for the watch journalist? Jean-Frédéric, what do you think?
It's a good question. Why don't you ask Amy? Because
Mr. Seddiqi.
I don't talk too much to journalists, as you know. So yeah. We are very silent brand, but we love journalists. You know, I mean, well, of course we need them because I mean they are like promoting what we do in the right way because they talk to the audience. It's super important, of course. I mean, a world without journalists will be like it's not possible. You cannot even imagine a world without journalists. You know.
We love them, no? We invite maybe more than 50 journalists to Dubai from all around the world. So we love them.
On behalf of the 86 journalists that were invited to Dubai Watch Week, we thank you.
So even if we don't talk to you at Rolex, we also love you, okay?
Okay, if you have words of advice for the next generation, what would they be? Actually, maybe I'll start with you, Mr. Hamied. For the next generation, yes.
Come to Dubai Watch Week and we teach you, and after that you buy from us more watches. And to have 2 watches also, not only one.
Yes.
Yeah. All analogic, not digital. Watches.
Yes, only mechanical, except for spring drive. Spring drive is fine. So, but Mr. Hamied, what is the advice you always give your children as well? You tell them to go into the world and experience things.
This is always my mission to them, you know. Go out, see people, have a relation, okay? Because the business, not only you make the business on the shop, you need to go out and to meet the people. Social life, event, exhibition. So this is always I am telling them, go out, don't stay in the office. So the relation is very important.
You know, it wasn't until you said it that I realized, actually, you're right, there are no more car fares, you know? And you see that also there's a real disinterest in the younger generation in cars. You know, do you agree with Mr. Hamied that it's important for young people to go out there, experience, make friendships, promote a deeply human industry?
Of course, and they have to, you know, be sure that if they imagine something, they can challenge the idea with among their peers, you know, to be sure that the idea might be good or not. You know, it's super important. If you do just something in your little workshop and you just believe that it's going to be the best thing, sometimes you can be disappointed, you know. So it's just like creativity is very important, but you also have to, you know, in a way, not maybe share your ideas because, I mean, we're in a competitive world, but you find a way of being sure that what the way you are trying to go is the right way, you know. And work hard and believe in your ideas, and, you know, then it's a fantastic industry, you know. We hope to have more people coming into that industry, you know, to make it alive forever.
But you also mentioned that you would encourage young people to be patient,
yeah,
and to go systematically and build their businesses in a structured way. Sometimes with social media, you try to do everything all at once.
Okay, it's a bit, oh yeah. Sometimes you think that with social media, with the modern technology, you can conquer the world at once. I'm not sure it's the right way. You should maybe go, if you start small, depending of course of the finance you have, but you have to go market by market. Then once you're strong on a market, you can take another one, and you can take another one, and you know, for like, Rolex started that way. Okay, there were no social media, but they started in UK. And this is where they started to become, you know, famous, and then they started to conquer the world from England, you know. And I see sometimes young people nowadays, they go everywhere, and they want to be everywhere. It's hard when you're small to talk to the whole world and to be everywhere, because you don't have the team, you don't have the money, you maybe not even have the product, you know, so it's, and you can't be everywhere. So.
That's right. You agree?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Dufour. Yeah.
Thank you, Hamied, to agree with me.
I think the last thing I'd like to say is, you know, several years ago, I had the incredible honor of being invited to the Academy Awards with yourself and your lovely wife. And I remember we met James Cameron, right? And I was trying to figure out why it is that Rolex was suddenly connected in a very big way with cinema, because I had always thought of you as being related to exploration, you know, writing history. And then James Cameron said, cinema is the journey of the heart and mind. Gentlemen, on this stage, you've given us an incredible journey of the heart and mind. Thank you very much, Mr. Dufour. Thank you very much, Mr. Seddiqi. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Wei. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, yes.